Hello, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley live with you. It is, of course, Thursday afternoon. Glad to have you with us. It's been a pretty comfortable day of weather here in our area, and we're going to see more of this cooler weather sticking around for a little while longer. So cool mornings, pleasant afternoons. That's kind of the name of the game here for the next couple of days. And then by the weekend, we're going to start to warm things up at least a little bit. But I'm really eyeing next week at some changes. That's when the humidity levels should start to rise a little bit. And we'll at least get a chance of some rain pushing back into the area. So again, glad to have you with us here. We're talking all about your local triad weather, and then we'll have a little bit of a Carolina-focused forecast for the second half of the program. Let's take a look right now. We're looking at the sky camera in Winston-Salem earlier this afternoon. And again, just kind of watching the day go by. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, I'd say so. And we're getting close to sunset too. Things are changing. That's what we know. Things are changing pretty quickly as the days just kind of dwindle and get a little bit shorter. 71 is your high temperature right now, and 52, the low temperature earlier this morning. That's kind of where we've been. I mentioned those shrinking days. Yeah, today, almost one of the last 7 o'clock sunsets. 7:01 currently around our area, so definitely a change of pace and something you'll want to keep an eye on as those days continue to get a little bit shorter over the next few afternoons. The sun is lowering down in the mountains as well. We're looking at some nice fall color too. These are things that are changing kind of on the fly. Hopefully you can enjoy some of that changing color in our area a little bit sooner. Or in sometime soon, I should say. Now, low temperatures earlier this morning, this was earlier today, right there in the 40s in the rural areas to the low 50s in the cities. The average low for today's date is 55. So it's not that far off from normal, but it certainly is a little cooler than when we typically get this type of weather. Now, as far as a little bit of perspective, when do we get this? When do we get that? Typically, throughout the year, we tend to get our first 60-degree temperature in August, toward the end of August. Typically, we hit our first 50 in the middle of September. Now, so far in Greensboro anyway, the lowest temperature this year has been 51. And when I say year, I mean this season. So the cool season, our lowest temperature has been 51. Now, when do you tend to get a 40-degree low? Well, that happens in the middle of October usually. We're not that far from that. That's only about a week away. So this is something that tends to happen. We tend to get our first freeze right around Halloween. So all of that is just guidance from past years and something to keep an eye on. Now, right now, temperatures are in the 60s. We're already starting to cool off. It's going to cool very quickly tonight, cooler than it has in recent evenings. But I'll tell you, the weather pattern right now is very interesting. We are on the cool side of things, but the middle of the country is really baking. 80s to right around 90 out that way. Not the case for us, but it is something to keep an eye on. For tonight, we will be down in the 40s pretty much across the board. So I see this to be our coolest night of weather for the year so far, for the season. Mid-40s in the rural areas, upper 40s in the cities. And then for tomorrow, it's a pretty beautiful day. Similar to today, we'll be in the low 70s for highs on your Friday. Looks great for high school football. All of those things still apply. But again, just know that these afternoons and evenings, once the sun goes down, you really start to lose the heat source. And that's going to be something that you'll notice. Let's talk about the weather pattern here. Of course, high pressure has been our friend, delivering this fall air to us. That coolness has been moving down the coast bit by bit. High pressure in control. Now, as it does so, we'll see that sunshine continues for tomorrow, a cool morning, and a pleasant afternoon. The only changes going into the weekend are mostly that high pressure will be overhead, and it won't have quite as much coolness anymore to send our way. We're pretty lucky that at this point in time, we're really going to see just mid-70s, so it's not going to warm up all that much. But I do notice that it won't be quite as cool in the mornings. Here's a look at your weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Cool mornings, 50 and 52. The afternoon, pretty comfortable, mid-70s, so 76 and 77. So overall, pretty nice for the next couple of days. One thing you might notice is that by Sunday afternoon, the clouds will start to thicken up a little bit, just a little bit. Now, if you're looking for a chance for rain, it's difficult to find one right now. We don't have any for tomorrow, not for Saturday. and really not for the weekend on the whole. All you have instead is high pressure kind of in control. One thing I want us to watch is going into next Monday and probably Tuesday and Wednesday as well, at least the opportunity of a couple scattered showers. No washouts, nothing along those lines, but there is possibility of at least some rain every now and again as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. Yesterday at this time, if you were watching us, we were talking about, well, the hurricanes. Now they're gone. Imelda's gone. Umberto is gone. They did roll through Bermuda, but not the case any longer. We have two tropical systems that are, well, not systems, they're just areas of interest. The one in Florida you really shouldn't worry about. That's just a 10% chance. However, in the middle of the ocean, this could be the next tropical wave that has a shot at developing. About a 20% chance over the next 7 days that there could be a new system. So that's not all that concerning. Meanwhile, back here at home, take a look at Highway 12. Still a lot of water on the roadways, especially up in Buxton. They have a lot of ocean overwash, which tends to happen when we have these tropical systems not that far offshore. In this case, well, there's been a lot of high waves. Last week at this time, this is 1 week ago, this was the drought monitor. Now, we see some change to it. So the change from last week to today is that the drought improved a little bit locally, but it got a little bit worse in eastern North Carolina. So it does depend on where you are as to what you've been seeing. And overall, the numbers across the state look like this. About 40% of North Carolina is under a moderate drought right now. The rest of the state, about 80% of it, is considered abnormally dry. So that's something to keep in mind. Our area, we're not hurting too badly, but we could still use some rainfall. It was nice to get at least a little bit of it over the last 7 days, but we could use some more. 7-day forecast. Cool mornings the next couple, 49, 50, 52. We'll have highs in the mid and upper 70s by Saturday and Sunday. And then looking ahead to next week, if you're looking for some rain, the first chance for that would probably be on Tuesday afternoon into the day on Wednesday. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Scattered rain seems to be the name of the game for us at this point. Scattered showers. So that's your forecast. We'll be back with actually a lot of content for you today, talking all about the weather across the Carolinas and a little bit of the impact of the government shutdown that it could be playing in the weather world. That's next.